This is the Nothing Phone 2A. Probably, and it's in its relatively short history, the most significant and important Nothing product that they may ever release. Now, the reason why we say this is because this phone will make or break, essentially, Nothing's exposure to the larger smartphone market. And you're wondering, bit of a big claim, Shaz? Well, it's true, because realistically, you can't really expect people to spend £1,000 or more on a Nothing phone. They will spend 500 to 600, 450 to 600, I should say, on a Nothing phone. And then the 330 or 350, which is where this falls, so we paid £330 here in the UK for the Nothing Phone 2A, is the most crowded and saturated market in the world when it comes to smartphones. Early indications, however, are very, very positive. Over 100,000 pre-buys in India since its, I guess, pre-ordered date for the Nothing Phone 2A. And in this review, we're going to recap some of the key points we feel as though are significant that separates the Nothing Phone 2A from others within this 300 to 400 price bracket. Now, one of the things we want to touch on before we get into the actual review itself is just touch over the specs. Now, we're going to go over the whole of them here. So you get a 6.7 inch OLED display, 120 Hertz, which is sick, IP54 splash resistant, Corning Glass Gorilla 5, and you get Android 14 out of box, which is sick. And then it's 4 years of software updates as well, which again, at this price point is very, very good. MediaTek Dimensity 7200 Pro is a chosen chipset, 128 gigabytes of storage, 8 gigabytes of RAM. You can get a 256 8 gigabytes, but you can pretty much maxes out at 8 gig here in the UK. You can't really get 12. And then 50 megapixel wide, 50 megapixel ultra wide with a 32 megapixel front facing sensor. Now, all of those three in the camera array, let's just cover those quickly, are the exact same spec aperture wise as the Phone 1 and more significantly the Phone 2. Now, actually, we've just touched on cameras. Let's actually do a quick little sample deep dive into what our thoughts are on the Nothing Phone 2A's cameras. So those cameras, as we said, two rear 50 megapixels, and then the front is a 32 megapixel. Quick touch on the design aesthetic on the rear of the phone. It's pretty weird, to be honest, but it's okay. It's okay. I mean, at this price point, it's good. Now, the cameras themselves, capable of shooting 4K 30 FPS in video mode, and then in general, color reproduction, night mode, ultra wide, all the shots are pretty good from what you'd expect from a 50 megapixel camera, ultra wide and wide, on a smartphone that costs less than $1,000. They're very good, actually, to be honest, in terms of processing. They do punch out the colors a bit more. You do get more contrasty, a bit more saturation, but generally speaking, they are pretty good click and shoot. It does take quite a bit of time to process some of the shots. So if you're looking for a shot to just be a quick look at and make sure you've got it right, you're gonna wait a good 2-3 seconds post, but that's fine. Portrait mode and night mode, again, there's a longer delay in processing those photos, but generally speaking, the Nothing Phone 2A's cameras are very good, very serviceable. Again, at this price point, I would say they're quite similar to the Poco X6 Pro that we reviewed. That had a really good camera array. This is also very, very similar. The 32 megapixel on the front, again, does a good job, quite aggressive when it comes to portrait mode and selfies, etc. But again, that shutter lag, that slowness in processing post is there. So you just gotta get used to it. I'm hoping that in the software update, they can fix that. And then let's shoot across to video mode. Ooh, let's touch on night mode actually. In night mode, there's a lot to push. Even the like slightly lighter areas, doesn't bring up much darkness into it, it just shoots it straight out as into light. So the photo we took here was about 5 AM in the morning here in the UK, and sunrise is until about 5:45-ish, so it was pretty dark and it just punched out those highlights. But overall, the night mode's pretty good. Video mode, again, in night and normal, pretty good. 4K 630 FPS, as we said, 1080p 30 on the front. But generally speaking, all the photos we took, we were pretty happy with the Nothing Phone 2A's camera array. The Dimensity 7200 Pro processor, try saying that 3 times fast, that's what's powering the Nothing Phone 2A, and to be honest, it's pretty good. You get the odd bit of like sort of like lag or slow down a little bit, but generally speaking, the processor works perfectly, just as you'd expect or would want from your processor. So there's no overheating that we've experienced. Gaming on the phone's pretty good as well. Running Mario Kart here, again, it's nothing too demanding or significant. You're not, 4K gaming, for example, but what it does offer is the ability to sort of hot swap between the two. So if you want to just browse, chill, watch a video, whatever, you can do that. If you wanted to game, you can do that. It's perfect. It's nothing wrong with that. But then you talk about the 120 hertz on that AMOLED display, runs butter smooth. 120 hertz is just the go-to. I'm assuming at some point we'll see like 165 hertz, 144 hertz in the future, but 120 hertz on this, smooth as you would expect. Again, like I said, the odd slowdown here and there, but generally nothing OS running on the MediaTek 7200 Pro is very, very nice. One cool thing we did want to show though is obviously you get the customization options as well when it comes to the glyph interface, and you can actually do some pretty cool effects, like have the glyph interface sort of interact, I guess, with your music, which is pretty sick. Probably not the best idea because it'll drain your battery, but overall it's a pretty cool idea. And then let's talk video. Video on the Nothing Phone 2a, nice large 6.7 inch display, AMOLED. You know what you're going to expect. We cover this in all of our videos because we like to talk about it, but rich, deep blacks, popping colors, looks amazing. Very, very good for like watching your content, etc. Obviously the examples you always use are sort of like nature, documentary style, because they're the best to kind of exemplify what color and contrast looks like. But generally speaking, as an overall package, the Nothing Phone 2a looks pretty sick. Final thoughts on the Nothing Phone 2a. 329. Competitors we've kind of briefly covered, some which we will be reviewing, some which we've already reviewed, which you can watch in our playlists, which is a Xiaomi playlist, the OnePlus playlist. You can see the Pixel playlist as well, so you can see what we reviewed and what our thoughts are. But generally, this is, as we mentioned at the start of the video, the most significant release for Nothing as a company. It's very, very early days for them, of course, and they've knocked it out of the park. 100%. There's so much about this that reminds me of OnePlus, which obviously Carl Pei, co-founder of, was obviously part of OnePlus as well. So yeah, excellent experience for us. Beyond the odd glitch and slowdown, etc., it's been pretty seamless. And at this price point of $329, there's not much better out there. In fact, value for money, bang for buck in the cost of living situation that we're in. If you're looking to upgrade your smartphone but you don't want to shell out huge amounts of money, but you want something reliable that charges fast, loads of updates, nice screen, good cameras, buy this. Basically is what that meant. That silence, I don't know why there was silence there, but yeah, buy this basically is what we're saying. So the Nothing Phone 2a is a hit, smashed out of the park. Really, really happy. Can't wait to see what the Nothing Phone 3 comes like and what the new buds and all the other tech that they've got going on. It's a really exciting time, and Nothing is kind of putting its stamp on the market right now in the way its design, its price, its performance is working out. So the Nothing Phone 2a, buy one. Peace.